The city of Naples, Florida, with its stately homes and beautiful beaches, is home to both retiree and vacationer. But this quiet community also hosts the world-famous swamp buggy races at Florida Sports Park. And that's where the men and machines of the NTRA will slug it out. Coming up next, we'll see who's king of the beach by ruling the swamp. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we come to you from Florida Sports Park in Naples for the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee, and we're here at one of the most unique motorsports facilities anywhere in the world. For over 40 years, this facility has hosted the famous Mile of Mud and the Swamp Buggies. Then they drain the swamp and race stock cars, and as we saw here last year, they fill in the sippy hole with crush cars when the monsters come to town. Now, monster truck tracks by nature are unpredictable, but at this particular racing facility, it offers up some unique challenges. And here with more on that is my colleague, Army Armstrong.
Gary, what you're looking at is a concrete wall, and you say, why are we looking at a wall? Well, in the sport of monster truck racing, this wall in Naples, Florida has turned out to be the biggest friend the monster truck drivers have. They really like this course. This concrete wall is real safe. The drivers are not afraid to really attack the track. And speaking of the track itself, one of the interesting parts is where we're standing now is normally under about 4 feet of water. It is very soft, as you can see. That allows these big tires to claw into the track so they can plant all that horsepower and fly for the rest of the afternoon in Naples, Florida. Time to go racing, Gary. Back to you.
And after qualifying, Army, we are ready for side-by-side racing, a unique shot from inside the cockpit with Andy Brass strapped in the cockpit of Bigfoot 10, the ever-evolving Bigfoot truck. Andy Brass, of course, out of St. Louis, Missouri, Bob Chandler's creation. So many drivers have been in the cockpit, but Andy Brass, perhaps the most noted of all. And we are staging now for side-by-side competition. Also alongside in Tropical Thunder, there is Wayne SMOZANEK. Wayne from Jupiter, Florida. So Wayne didn't have far to go. We're down here in his neck of the woods.
No, you're exactly right. He's excited about running against the big boys in his own backyard. He's really going to try to put on a show for the home state folks. You know, he's got the lane closest to the crowd. He's closest to the wall. He is really going to try to lay a shot here for you. He can make a name for himself.
Oh, he's in big trouble. He hits that outside wall that you talked about. Upside down, Wayne SMOZANEK. Oh, he's putting on a show for the fans. There goes the catch fence. Oh, my, you can see the damage to the suspension, the front axle, but Wayne is okay. The former drag racer who moved to monster truck racing a few years ago climbs out. He is okay, but look at the damage to Tropical Thunder.
Yeah, the damage is suspension damage, but the chassis engineering people have built him a real safe truck. They built it by the safety specs and all the roll cage and everything held up. But the wall and the catch fence did its job. Listen to the neighbors.
What a spectacular endo in a monster truck. That's a whole lot of iron to be getting upside down.
Well, I said he wanted to make a name for himself. I don't think that's exactly what he had in mind there.
Well, Army, let's take a look again over the first jump. It's almost fender to fender right now, but he gets in trouble as he goes over that second set of cars.
Okay, now the wall we talked about at the opening can be your friend, but can also be your enemy because it will not give an inch.
Well, you can see the aftermath. He takes out the catch fence, but he is okay, and he's alongside Army Armstrong.
Wayne, first of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What caused it to bounce like that?
I don't really know. I stayed in the throttle. I made good runs in qualifying and never hooked at all. I don't know if it possibly had a broken axle in the air. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to do something like that, it's tough to have it happen, but half of this crowd are your neighbors and everything. I'm glad you're okay. Another time, another day.
Yeah, it's a bad time to wreck the truck.
We'll offer up a slight smile, although strained as it is. The safety crew going to work to remove this carnage from the Florida Sports Park. Let's take a look again. A head-on shot. That is Wayne off to the left.
Watch him in no man's land, the area between the cars. He's out of shape. He's at a little bit of an angle. Now, he just kind of rolls over. It yawed to the right. He couldn't pull it back.
Well, that's a case where had the wall not been there, had it been a wide open field, he could have saved it. But obviously,
Yeah,
with the
but-
fans back there, the wall is there for safety
Again, if
purposes.
a frog had wings, you know, okay.
Well, Tropical Thunder with a whole lot of work to be done before that truck competes again. We're coming back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Florida Sports Park in Naples, Florida, as Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals, a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Series. Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong. You can see the damage to the catch fence there as we take a look at some other action from round one. Scott Stevens out of Woodlands, Texas. Now watch, he has difficulty as well. He's in the near lane, closest to the television camera. In the auto value King Crunch.
What the problem is, in the opening, I showed you how soft this track is. Okay, now, once you get a tire down, it hooks a rut. Okay, and look at those big cleats in those tires, and the vehicle basically has a mind all its own. The drivers are going to have to adjust their chassis here.
And afterwards, Army caught up with Scott Stevens.
Well, Scott Stevens, you come immediately to the back of the truck. You know there was something that had to let go to cause the truck to turn like that.
Yeah.
Tell me about this bar.
Yeah, that's the bar that makes the truck go straight, and it broke and it didn't go straight. So that's something that, you know, if we got a few minutes, we can have it fixed. You know, it's good pass. I just did what we needed to win. You know, having had some bad luck here lately, a lot of and everybody just need to get back on track. We're on track, and hopefully this will set us back for just a few minutes.
Okay, now, Gary, what he's talking about is this bar right here. Immediately, as soon as he came out of the truck, he came to the back. It's a stabilizing bar, and as you can see, the weld is broke on it. He's got to find him a welder and get squared away. I don't think time is going to be a factor here. I think they got about 15 or 20 minutes between the next round and this round, but definitely a problem.
Well, Army, misery loves company. Plenty of company in round one. Lyle Hancock, the driver of the Gravedigger panel truck, also had trouble in round one, going up against Kirk Dabney's Nightmare. Now, what's the problem in the far lane?
The soft track. As soon as these big tires grab, the track is soft. I showed you in the opening, and the vehicles are darting left and right. Now, Dabney, he could be the best kept secret here today. The Gravedigger, he's another guy that had problems, but Donnie Van Loo kept the string going. Van Loo comes over to Dodge this year in the first round. He went up against the Ford of John Moore, the HPX Ford vehicle. A good run, but look what happened at the end.
Watch the near lane.
The left front tire in the near lane, they have what they call a knuckle on that tire. It's like a suspension piece, and it broke. So Van Loo goes on the trailer.
All kinds of problems in round one here at Florida Sports Park from Naples, Florida. It's a beautiful day, but these guys cannot enjoy the weather. They have a whole lot of work to look at Tropical Thunder. Now, we'll look at the matchups for round two. It will be Bigfoot against King Crunch, Nightmare against the Carolina Crusher, and No Problem will take on Snakebite. And, of course, the fast loser will come back to race again. So some matchups there for round two action from Florida Sports Park.
So far, the guy that bought a ticket's getting his money's worth, I'll guarantee you. Brand new vehicle on the circuit. You know, these guys keep coming up and updating. The paint stays the same. You've got a driver here that normally we do not see in this truck. This is Gary Wiggins. He's taken over as the number 2 driver for the Gary Porter operation. But this truck here, Gary, has impressed me. Kirk Dabney comes out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He bought this truck, and in a very short time, he's really adapted to it. He's got the feel for the truck. He works good with the truck. He could be the best kept secret in the sport, like I said earlier.
Well, you think today Kirk Dabney could really have a chance here?
Yeah, I definitely do. This track is conducive to that type of suspension. Look how smooth he is.
And he takes the victory. The far lane, the Nightmare truck. Kirk Dabney out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. He had a long, long way to tow to get down here to southern Florida, but he takes the victory here at Florida Sports Park.
And see, the right wall did not intimidate him one bit. He knew that truck was going to land straight. This truck runs an older style suspension. It has a tendency to bounce straight.
Well, that is one advantage as he keeps it straight and takes the victory here in round two, and he's down there with Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, we got one of the fellas that made it to the Final Four on a very strange day here today. How's it feeling out there?
Well, Army, you know, we've been worried about that right-hand lane, and the Rugged Trail Nightmare truck is ran good in that lane before, but seeing the Tropical Thunder truck wreck, we were concerned, but the truck pulled real good. We're real content. We ran a 5.4 fast time for us of the day.
Well, the concern may be there, but once that green light goes on the Christmas tree, it's hammered down in all business. Round two competition now continues. No problem. There's a look at John Moore. He's out of Lafayette, Tennessee, longtime Ford man, and he pulls alongside Snakebite. Colt Cobra. I'm not sure what that, well, that's a Ford make. I guess we can say that, but it's all tricked out with a fiberglass nose.
Yeah, it's a Ford body style. Everybody knows the story. He built the truck specifically to be the #1 Ford in the country. That means he's got to bump off Bigfoot, but in order to do that, he's got to get past John Moore. John Moore runs the suspension we talked about last year. The suspension on the truck in the far lane is based off the off-road vehicles out in California. Meanwhile, Snakebite runs a tried and true 460 cubic inch supercharged engine with Custer shocks, and he looks like he's going to advance to that next round.
The Colt Cobra will take the measure of John Moore. He will advance in the Ford Snakebite. One more look, the near lane.
Boy, this Snakebite and Bigfoot have figured something out in the torque converters. They run a TCI torque converters, and they are leaving the line and doing a wheelie with a 10,000-pound vehicle.
The most colorful driver on the circuit, Colt Cobra, and he is with Army.
Well, Colt, just tell me about it.
Well, I tell you what, Army, you know, we pulled a little bit with taller gear on that run there, and it seemed like the truck really bit in hard with the Firestone tires. You know, the Ford's making all the power we need down here this weekend for this run down here in Naples. You know, we're looking real good, like I said earlier. We're going into the next round. We're feeling real good. The truck seems like it's handling real nice for us down here. We've been struggling all year long, you know, but the Ford, with a little help from Brass Eagle, we're going into the next round. And, of course, that BDS supercharger's making all the power I want.
You could just hear the excitement and enthusiasm in that driver's voice. And here is a look at the Auto Value King Crunch. A lot of work went on earlier in the pit area. We saw that broken suspension component on Scott Stevens' truck out of Woodlands, Texas. And there was some heavy work going on in the pit area earlier as the welder, well, a cutting torch right there. Then they had to weld that piece back together. But Scott Stevens is back on the track.
Okay, you've got to remember one thing. That bar broke in the first round. The truck hooked to the right. He was in the left lane. He had some space. He's not in that scenario now. He is right next to that concrete wall. He better trust that welder.
Here's a guy that's had great success in monster truck racing, Andy Brass in Bigfoot number 10. I like that view in the cockpit as he starts to work the pedals. He'll be in the near lane. Ford against GMC.
Both veterans going after each other. Boy, the Ford leaves the line hard. Can't believe he's doing a wheel stand with a 10,000-pound truck.
Scott's in trouble again, though. Scott headed off to the right. Of course, Bigfoot wins it. We were watching Scott Stevens, as were they, as he got in trouble in that far lane up against the outside concrete wall. We're coming back with more from Florida Sports Park. Welcome back to Naples, Florida for the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals. It is a beautiful day here in Naples. Once again, these Jamborees offer a host of activities for not only the truck lover, but the entire family as well. So to find out more, call or write the Special Events Promotion Company. Looking now at the pairings for the semifinal round, we have Bigfoot going against the fast loser from the last round, Carolina Crusher. And NITEMARE will pull alongside Snakebite. A lot of action still to come here at Florida Sports Park in Naples. A beautiful day. Crowd on hand. Look at that. There's a burnout.
Yeah, you don't do it in a bleach box in this sport. You do it in a sand pile, though, back in the back, Gary. You're seeing a lot of the same characteristics come over from drag racing. The guys preparing their chassis. Bill Brand Chevrolet's teams up with the Carolina Crusher this weekend. They want to try to put this big bad blue Ford on the trailer. The big bad blue Ford, they figured out something in the drivetrain because they're actually doing wheelies now with a 10,000-pound truck. So the technology keeps going forward. Whether you like Dodge, Ford, or Chevrolet, everybody's trying to out high-tech the other guy.
And of course, this is the Carolina Crusher, the new Carolina Crusher, as we also look at the new Bigfoot. This is Bigfoot 10.
And every time you hear about a new truck, they just upgrade the truck. Again, getting back to the technology question. Yeah, exactly. Keep going quicker and faster.
Look at the torque in Bigfoot as Bigfoot. Oh, it was driver's side down for Gary Wiggins. He looked like he was in the Auto Thrill Show there. Boy, he hit over on two wheels.
Joy Chip would be proud of him.
Well, the victory goes to the big blue truck. That was Bigfoot 10, Andy Brass, but just by a fender. Watch the far lane. Watch Gary Wiggins. Look how far over he gets on the left side. Over the second set, and right there, he almost brought it on over.
Almost high-sided. You're exactly right. Good camera angle. What it is, it shows us he did not hit the jump square. That's exactly what the problem was, but he brought it back in.
As the good crowd looks on, we are ready for more competition in the semifinal round. And looky there. There is Colt Cobra in Snakebite. He will have the far lane next to that ominous outside concrete wall, and he pulls alongside Kirk Dabney in NITEMARE. And you like this GMC rig.
Yeah, I like it because all of a sudden the driver and the truck seems to gel. Now, Andy Brass, who's already made it through this round, he's watching the race on the line because he knows snakebite, our Dabney's going to get him. And a moment ago, you talked about the snakebite liking this. Hey, this is an old swamp. If you were a snake, you'd love to be here. That's exactly where snakebite is. He is pumped up.
Side by side over the first set of cars. It's going to be
Dabney.
Kirk Dabney.
Whoa.
Kirk Dabney takes out snakebite. So the snakebite can go back to Alligator Alley with all of its reptile cousins.
That's right, but Dabney, he goes into the winner bracket for that next round.
So Kirk Dabney out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, takes the measure of Colt Cobra in snakebite here at Florida Sports Park. Once again, he had him right at the start.
Well, that was a good race.
Well, he'll go up against Andy Brass in the final. Here's Andy.
Andy, you and Kirk Dabney in the final now. It's the first time you've run him in a final this year. Are you going to make any adjustments?
No, it ain't. You know, we're going to look at the times here. I think we're going to have lane choice. We'll put him over in the right-hand lane. Big thing here is just running. We're going to try to run consistent. We've been turning in some good times all day, and we're just going to try to run like we've been running, not change anything. The truck's been working good for us, you know. All we got to do is get off the line and get down the track.
Well, Andy Brass certainly is no stranger as the fans look on to being in the championship shootout, but this is something new for Kirk Dabney. He climbs out of NITEMARE. Let's go down and talk to Kirk Dabney out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Well, Kirk Dabney, I'm going to tell you something. You got a better chance of getting a date with Andy Brass's sister than you do getting in that left lane. He's not going to let you get where you want to be.
Well, Army, we're going to have to live with that right-hand lane, and there's no sense worrying about how good we do in the left-hand lane. We're just going to give it all we got over there in the right-hand lane and just do the best we can.
Andy Brass's sister, if he has one, may not want a date with Kirk Dabney. You might start a family feud there. Well, it will be Bigfoot against NITEMARE in the championship here at Florida Sports Park. It is a beautiful day here on the Gulf Coast. Fans enjoying the sunshine. We'll come back and enjoy the championship round. Stay with us. Welcome back to Florida Sports Park in Naples, Florida. Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong as Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals, a part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. The blue and white driving shoes of Andy Brass working the pedals in Bigfoot. The big blue Ford will go up against Kirk Dabney's GMC NITEMARE. The Ford out of St. Louis, Missouri, and the GMC truck out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You know, this could be a big day for Kirk Dabney. He's worked awfully hard, but he's going to be in that lane that's been biting everybody all day long. We go back to first round when Wayne SMOZANEK up to the right lane, a little bit of a bad bounce.
And then a real bad bounce right there. Wayne, of course, was all right. You saw it earlier in the program. A nose stand there, comes on over, knocks down the catch fence.
Wall 1, Wayne 0 at that point.
Wayne was okay. A lot of damage to Tropical Thunder. He'll have that thing repaired the next couple of weeks or so.
But I tell you something, I don't think that's going to bother Dabney. He's running close to that wall all day long. Like I say, the truck is bouncing, but it is bouncing straight. He's got one chance for his first win of the year to put Bigfoot away. He is so psyched. He's got literally rifle vision. He's not looking at anything left or right. He's looking straight down that track to the finish line.
Driver position in the middle of the cockpit there in Bigfoot. That is the Bigfoot 10 truck that goes in a long, long line of big blue Fords. Kirk Dabney in the usual position there on the left side of the cockpit. All right, the fans are ready to hammer down.
Whoa!
Good run.
You
Almost
call
a
it.
photo finish.
I can't call it.
Well, let's wait and see. From our vantage point, it was just simply too close to call. The fans are yelling. I'm not sure who they're yelling for. Let's look again, Army.
Boy, Gary, both drivers lead. Watch them come over that first ramp. Both of them are off. Now, on the throttle right now. See, no man's land. They put the horsepower down. Look at the rear tires kicking up dirt from that no man's land.
One of the best finals we have seen in a long time. It's Bigfoot by a fender. Both drivers down there in the pit area. Army has both of them.
Well, Gary, let me grab you guys real quick here. First of all, Kirk, congratulations on a great job. You really got the truck dialed in.
Thank you, Army. We appreciate it. We tried hard to be here. We're glad to be here.
Andy, this guy's playing hardball with you today.
Hey, he was. You know, we was watching the times there. Kurt was real steady all day, and we knew if we ended up with him in the finals, he was going to have a hard run for us.
Well, congratulations to you and the rest of the Bigfoot team.
Well, thank you, Arm.
One of the best finishes we have seen in a long time. Our congratulations to Andy Brass and Bigfoot, and of course Kirk Dabney in NITEMARE. A great crowd here on hand on a day in Naples that the wall took the best shots the drivers had to give, and the wall came out standing. Well, for Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
Once again, it's time for that death-defying dance step called Shake, Battle, and Roll. Call 1-800-438-3939 to order Shake, Battle, and Roll 2. It's a 70-minute thrill ride featuring the movers and shakers of truck and tractor pulling, the nitrous-powered warriors of mud racing, and the high-flying dogfighters of monster truck combat. Shake, Battle, and Roll 2 is the ultimate test of speed and strength. It's crunch time once again for the all-stars of mud, monsters, and pulling in Shake, Battle, and Roll 2. To order by credit card, call 1-800-438-3939 or send check or money